we don't have enough space on Earth to power soon our data centers, especially with green energy.
And we already said, and all the numbers I just said is still below the 790 billion. So all these huge projects, all big tech is outspending them in just 1 year in just AI investments. Welcome to episode number 9 of Digilize Lab by Digilize Agency. Today we have taken the opportunity and
the weather was so good that we just had to get out of the cupola.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Into the sun. So I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. We hope that everything works out and we don't have any
We'll be
Wind.
fine, don't worry.
issues or so, but should be fine, right?
For sure.
All right.
Who wants to start with the first topic?
Go ahead.
I have a really nice one. A
Perfect.
new model came out.
Which one?
The one with 15,
12 million.
12 million.
Context window.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's fun because it's not even one of the big AI labs right now, but it's SubQ is the company called.
Okay.
And I've never heard from them. I think they're also American. But they are focusing on 12 million tokens in the context window. It's
Crazy.
super crazy. No other lab could do that so far. Everyone just struggled to get 1 million into there.
But what is the downside? What's
I don't
the
know
but?
yet. I tried to.
It has to be a
On
but.
the first day, I signed up on the wait list. I
Yeah.
still haven't heard from them, so
Crazy,
I
okay.
hope that I can try it out soon. But
Crazy.
I'm super excited for that, especially for knowledge work and all of that.
Have you ever heard of it before?
No, that's
No,
what,
right.
what I meant. It's a completely new lab.
Crazy.
They haven't released any other model yet, and then they came out with such a banger. I mean, let's see how it actually
Performs.
works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also did the needle in the haystack experiment. Do you guess?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but maybe.
Basically for the followers, this is a test where you check how accurate basically your recall of the AI model is. If you put into the context, I don't know, 1 million tokens, and you say, okay, there is one little sentence that you would like to recall. So inside of the session, after you put the big text inside, you ask the model exactly that question, and if it then accurate recalls that is good.
Makes
That
sense.
is basically the needle in the
That makes
haystack.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. And they had, I think, a 94.81% on there
Yeah, that's
with
great.
a filled context window of
Crazy.
12 million.
But doesn't that kind of show like the efficiency of the vector storage and not really? I mean,
don't-
obviously,
no,
also
no,
the
no,
model
I-
is part of it. But
That is. I think there is no vector storage behind it. That is the whole model. That is just a KV cache basically, or the context window.
crazy.
That is the fun part because
Crazy.
then
Okay,
they
then I guess the
completely kill
efficiency
it.
of the KV
Right.
cache, yeah. Crazy.
that is.
But how much? You don't have any data yet on how much VRAM, etc.
No, I sadly didn't do more
Okay.
research. I just saw
Next
it, signed
episode.
up, and
Yeah,
I'm waiting still for the wait list. So
crazy.
let's see if
Yeah, let's
I
see.
can try it out. I can tell you guys more.
Sick. Oh, nice one.
Crazy.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I one thing I tried to research a little bit about was because we will keep talking about these huge numbers, right? But they're not really into context. Like they're out of context sometimes, and it's
Numbers in?
just in general like AI spending as such.
Oh.
So I wanted to like look and see if like how we could compare it.
It's gone.
Sun is gone.
Yes.
It's gone.
Say peace. Oh yeah, he's taking
Fair
sad.
enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I wanted to bring those numbers into context, right? So we have currently from the big tech a 790 billion investment wave in AI, right? Sounds quite a lot, but sometimes it gets, kind of overwhelming with all these numbers. So I wanted to put it in like a scale context. And just like the Manhattan Project, for example, yeah? In adjusted terms now, that would be around...
So with inflation and stuff like that.
yeah,
calculated?
so everything, $50 billion.
Mhm.
50 billion. The whole Manhattan Project, yeah. The Marshall Plan, basically...
Yeah.
rebuilding whole not German, but European economy in general, 190 billion. Yeah.
And how much was it AI again?
790 billion.
But that's all already.
And that's just
counted
in
inflation.
2026, right? Just in 1 year.
Yeah.
And it's all like inflation adjusted and then so on. The Apollo program was 290 billion.
Damn, also a lot though.
Yeah.
The ISS was 150 billion. So that was until today the biggest project ever, right?
Crazy.
The EU budget in 2026 is 215 billion.
The EU budget.
The EU budget, yeah. Make sure to be close enough to the mic.
Where's all of the money going to then? Or coming from better? Like if you say 700 billion,
Yeah.
where's the money coming from if the...
It's all big tech. It's all the big techs.
Valid, but I mean they don't have that much money in the bank accounts.
Yeah,
True, but
but I mean, that is exactly what we already talked about. The vouchers basically for the data center usage.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
the
I mean,
imaginary kind of money.
That is, I think, how you can or how they inflate those
Yeah,
prices,
yeah.
because I believe those are also calculated in that investment.
They're in the
but
books,
That
but-
that money never existed in
Exactly.
that kind of sense.
Yeah.
The value.
yeah, but I have the
just
exact
different.
numbers as well. Who spends how much? But big tech in general, 790 billion we already said, and all the numbers I just said is still below the 790 billion. So all these huge projects, all big tech is outspending them in just 1 year in just AI investments. And the key numbers, so global AI spending in 2026 is 2.52 trillion, which is 44% up according to Gartner in just 1 year. And the big four spend, Amazon spends around 200 billion, Alphabet,
More.
175 billion,
Bitch.
Microsoft 145 billion, and Meta 150 billion.
Okay.
Roughly the same.
But
Is
it's,
it, like that's all real money, or is that also including those vouchers and kind of inflated?
well, I cannot tell you exactly
Yeah, okay.
because I don't think they enclose that either.
No, probably not.
But
Why should they?
For sure.
if
not.
the fact is that they do invest that money, so I don't know where it comes from, but they do invest it. And yeah, I think it's just insane.
Yeah, but
But it also
to be
shows the
honest-
magnitude again of
yeah,
what's
but to be
happening.
honest, the scale helped, but I think it's still so crazy. Those numbers, it is
It is.
really hard to get.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
but
I
it's
mean, it's also
trillion alone.
but that's the interesting part. In just 1 year, those four companies spent as much as the Manhattan Project, Marshall Plan,
Yeah,
Apollo
together.
program, the ISS, the
together.
EU budget, and the German Sondervermögen combined. Combined. And those were multi-year things, right?
Yeah, but
But did they already spend it, or did they just because obviously Project Stargate is like 20-year project, and they say 500 billion, for example, but not today, obviously. Like they just say we're gonna spend it, or we will spend this in the next 5 years.
wasn't there also the?
No, but this
the-
is just investments for 2026.
That is
Again,
crazy.
yeah.
It's only for 2000. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just for 1 year.
That is.
And they already outspent all these projects.
That's crazy.
And 75% of that is for GPUs, data centers, and
That makes
networking.
sense.
I think a day they spend 2 billion a day building data centers.
It's so crazy.
2 billion.
And most of their products are free. Where does the money?
Yeah, but
Yeah, that is-
if you don't pay for the product, you are the
Yeah,
product,
that's
right?
what I'm
So
trying to go at.
yeah,
Yeah, crazy.
crazy numbers.
yeah, pretty crazy, right? I also was a little bit, and it's supposed to get even bigger, right? So in 2024, guess how much they were spending in 2024 in just 1 year? Those four,
All together,
Together,
yeah,
50,
200.
200.
256 in 2025, 443 in 2006, those 790 billion, and 2027 forecast is above 1 trillion.
It's exponential growth.
Yeah.
But if it gets more and more expensive, then I mean it should get cheaper.
No, I think nowadays we're actually getting on the problem that we don't have enough energy resources anymore. We don't have enough actual space on the Earth anymore. Because I also saw a really nice image, the comparison of basically a data center, a state-of-the-art data center. There was a little dot and then a big ass dot, thank you, a big ass rectangle around it. That was, I think, 50 times as big as the little dot for the data center. That is just the solar panels to power that.
Yeah.
We don't have enough space on Earth to power soon our
Especially
data
with
centers,
renewable,
especially with green energy.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's if you look at, for example, Meta, they had amazing numbers at the recent what was it?
Earnings
call.
Yeah.
But still, the investors, they see it as such a high risk that they invest so much. You know, obviously it's a risk if you invest 160 billion into a technology.
Yeah, but I mean, the bigger risk is if you don't invest in left behind.
miss the trade.
No, it's true. It's true. But
I think now
They
with
lost
those
60%.
earning calls, also with Amazon and so on, it does starting to pay off. Of course, it's still
hope
out
so.
of relation. Well, it
hope
does.
so.
You see it.
yeah, I mean, Meta minus
paper.
16-15%. Is this the risk is not?
Yeah, okay, but for
people are
Meta,
still-
it was because the capex was so insanely big,
Exactly.
and they still don't know. But for Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, and so on, they're actually performing much better. But still, the last number I have for this topic is the revenue in 2026, or until today, roughly. So that's not like a hard number.
Yeah.
Is only 35 billion. Only 35 billion of
That's
those
what
four,
I'm going at, yeah.
with their spending of almost 900.
Exactly.
790.
Well, obviously, that they're betting that will pay off at some point, and they're trying to commercialize. I mean, look at Microsoft. That's also one of my topic. They've been trying to commercialize AI in a million different ways, and now they're rowing back in a lot of the stages. They even included it in Xbox, like even on Xbox,
They
on
did?
device, a local model is running, and you can ask it questions to your game. But they rolled that back as well now. And now they're trying to include AI agents actually in the 365 suite, but doesn't look like that works out as well. So they're really panically trying to get a revenue stream.
Yeah.
Sorry if that was too quiet. But they're really trying to get the revenue
Is everyone properly talking into the microphone?
You guys hear me well.
Yeah,
Yes.
we might need.
No, because it makes a difference, especially with
fair
the
enough.
pop shoots. We really need to
true.
make sure to only a
Be
fist.
close.
Yes.
We do have a couple topics from last episode though, by the way,
Yes.
Oh,
that
true.
we
You wanna
didn't
start?
mention yet. I mean, you can start with Warp in a second. I just would quickly look into Musk versus Altman again, just to get, because we mentioned it last time.
Yeah.
We got some listeners here. Yeah, no, basically the trial has been going on, and there's been some crazy statements. For example, some secret investors in OpenAI that were also at the same time investing in XAI, and they didn't enclose that until they had to now in the court. And also the judge often, like quite a couple of times, cut Musk off in between because he was waffling some interesting stuff. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. It's not done yet, but
that
it's,
will
I think
take
next week
so
or
long,
something.
so much longer.
No.
Yeah, no, it goes quickly, but let's see how it goes out. We'll tell you next episode.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't tried our DeepSeek V4 also too much. I just had it one.
I just saw the
One quick
benchmarks.
chat.
Looks quite good.
Too busy.
Yeah,
That's the
actually
interesting
too
part.
busy.
Yeah.
Too busy.
We need to start an AI lab.
Oh, very much so.
Well, we were talking about it the other day, actually.
We should.
We should.
That would be super fun, actually.
So if you're interested in funding us,
I just wanted to say.
make
You know,
sure
good
to reach
investor.
out to us. It's info@digilize8.agency.
Agreed.
We don't need as big numbers as the big four.
No, I
No.
just want a few H200s. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Same output, quarter of the price.
Yeah.
Same.
And made in the EU.
Of course.
True.
Well, if that wasn't a pitch you can't resist, then I don't know.
We're even touching grass.
Yeah.
All
Well-
right. Do you want to have a look at Warp? Do you have some data, or should I?
Go ahead.
Should I?
Like I said, a busy week. I
Yeah.
haven't done too much checking out, more working.
Yeah, I mean the interesting part is that Warp is obviously spot one on the terminal benchmarks.
Yeah.
Worldwide. So it is quite crazy. I think. Let me see here. Yeah, 75.8%, and it's right on par with GPT 5.5. And
But are you talking about the agent in Warp then, Benno?
the agent, but also the harness, like they're
Okay.
comparing
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
codecs
yeah.
in that sense. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's 150 million lines of code that are being generated through Warp every week,
Crazy.
and 97% of those were user approved. So in that sense, they did like a survey or something.
How does the number with the lines produced compare to other?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a. Don't
That'd
have a
be really
comparison
interesting
to-
because
yeah, it's a good.
I
point,
can't
actually.
really. I don't know how if that's.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
fair.
sounds.
Fair. It's probably.
How
it's-
many?
It's probably such a
A
small
hun-
number
100,000?
compared to Claude and ChatGPT or something.
Fair.
100 million,
Ah.
150 million a week.
Okay. That
Lines
makes.
of code. So it's still a substantial amount, but
yeah,
But it's not.
I think on good days I produce or I spit out 10 to 15 million tokens.
Yeah,
But
could be.
that's not only coding, but more planning and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people underestimate the warp harness.
yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Not only for terminal
But-
kind
but
of
is
tasks,
the-
but
is-
also for coding.
Is the harness also open source?
As at least how I got it.
Fun.
Also, the harness is open source. The only thing that is still closed is the Warp Drive, like the
Yeah.
cloud thingy, and one more thing, but it wasn't.
The OS,
I think-
whatever the management, the cloud agent management.
Yeah,
think,
yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
a
it's-
lot of it is open sourced. Well, some
fun,
under the
I-
MIT license and some.
I mostly use it basically as a superconductor or IDE
Yeah, fair.
alternative because you can spawn with a new sidebar on the left side. I think
yeah.
that was the best change they ever did.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks ago.
That was really nice.
Super awesome. You can spawn 10 different agent tabs in each, or terminals basically, and
Yeah.
then in each you can have Claude, Pi, whatever.
Sick.
No,
But I'm
actually
using
really nice.
Claude Code through their own, like through the Claude app nowadays. Not even through the terminal, but directly in the Claude app.
No,
And,
I
it's
like
actually quite
my
nice.
CLI. I like
Yeah,
the
no,
terminal.
fair enough. But it's actually quite nice because they do have like the terminal integration. They do have the files integration. It's basically like an IDE now as well. A bit bloated, but
Can you,
it works. And
I mean,
also
I
the
didn't
sidebar
use it,
tabs.
but I watched you yesterday using it. Yeah, but from my personal, I low-key like the Droid one, the factory one, a little
Yeah.
because it kind of is
Very nice.
the middle
It's not as
thing because
bloated
it's
as
not
the
only
Claude.
the CLI,
Yeah.
but
no, but you have to specify your meaning the desktop app by
yes,
factory, right?
Yes.
Because Droid is just a harness basically behind it.
fair enough.
But both are wonderful. The Droid harness is one of the best harnesses, if not the best harness,
Yeah.
and performs better with 4.6 or whatever than
Yeah.
Claude Code. It just burns through tokens.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I
give-
don't
give
think
me a
so.
number. Can you see how much tokens it uses?
Yeah.
How like Claude shows it?
Yeah.
How much for like a medium-sized kind of prompt, not like a complete one-shot? How
I
many
would
tokens
need
would
to.
you
I would
use
need to
on-
look it up.
I just know that I burned through 20 million tokens, but we generated a lot of scripts though, and a lot of documentation.
But also they changed their
into
billing,
that.
right?
Yeah,
It's
that
completely
was-
different now,
exactly.
and it's
That was
not like
before.
I only used. Well, okay, I didn't do super hard coding, more like like our working dictionaries and so on. And now I think I use 12% of my tokens, and it resets in 22 days.
Yeah, but
So, and I've been using GLM 5.1. By the way, so
awesome
good,
model. So good.
so
right?
good. I'm not sure what they did with it, but that's my go-to.
Yeah.
Like I don't even use Sonnet.
Yeah, sometimes if you
How
need-
expensive is it, GLM?
Um,
Zero. So in the app it's 0.5 times, and
already?
Sonnet, for example, is 1.
Ah, 0.
So it's 50% cheaper.
Okay, but you know the dollar, because Sonnet right now is like $3 input, $15.
I
output,
would need to
think.
look it up.
Yeah.
It's on some Chinese thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Well-
interesting. No, it is a good model.
Yeah.
But no, I forgot what I wanted to say. So well,
Should we go to the next big news?
One more thing.
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, to be honest, you can skip that. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
I mean, what do you guys think about the Anthropic SpaceX
Oh,
Colossus deal?
I also
Pretty
have that.
insane.
It is pretty insane. It's nice for the users, I guess.
Since then, I've never hit my usage limit
No.
so far.
I mean,
Well,
we
let's
looked it up
get
earlier.
everyone on board.
How much was
What
it?
is it?
It was only, I think, double the amount for
weekly?
I mean, definitely the amounts were raised, like the weekly amounts were raised, the daily and the 5-hour limit, like the, you know, daily kind of limit.
But maybe before you get into that, could you summarize of what
Yeah,
it is even about? Because we did
yeah,
not.
of course. So basically, XAI, they built a big data center. Is it finished already?
Yeah, I think they're just not hitting their capacity, and now they rented out the whole data center to Anthropic.
The whole?
Yeah, one whole. It's the specs
Colossus
are.
one data
Colossus
center.
one, yeah.
Yes, I have the specs here. It's
300.
300 plus megawatts,
Wow.
220,000 Nvidia GPUs, H100, H200, and GB200.
No GB300?
Okay.
No.
Chip?
No,
Not yet?
Not in my notes. Maybe they
GB300
were,
should
but
be the
not.
best chip for AI yet.
And
Let's
the GPUs are supposed to be online by end of May.
Fun.
So I'm
Let's
guessing they're already
Crazy.
onboarding them slowly.
Yeah, okay. So Anthropic kind of bought their way into it, and XAI rented it out. So basically, Anthropic can use it now to help with their shortages that they had beforehand with supply, etc. So they can raise the limits again, hourly, weekly, etc. That's all raised, I think, already.
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, I didn't check. There's no numbers on the exact raising, but they say around 2 times on the daily, and I think up to 5 times on Opus limits actually.
Yeah,
The biggest increase was on Opus directly.
Maybe they can run
the
it
most
cheaper
used one.
on
Claude.
new
Could be.
Probably.
But I have a good deal.
whatever.
I don't know.
So Claude Codes, the 5-hour caps were completely lifted.
True, that's
Everything else was doubled across all tiers.
Yeah.
Peak hour restrictions
Gone.
were removed from Pro and Max, only from Pro and Max, and API rate limits raised considerably.
Nice.
So
Yeah, so overall good news.
yeah,
And yeah.
but I think there is some irony. I don't know.
I'm still searching for it. I didn't find it yet.
Not yet.
But I mean, it makes sense, right? If they have so much more compute
No, it
now.
does make sense. I guess the but is that your data is going through.
I guess it is a
Colossus now.
win-win for both sides.
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
100%.
Probably now Anthropic also helps Elon a bit with training or whatnot. Probably we see soon a Grok Mythos 2.0, whatever.
Could be.
Cybersecurity model or a crazy new good model.
You think so?
I mean, this,
But I wouldn't want that as Anthropic.
I mean, as Anthropic, you can still differentiate yourself with the Opus 4.6, 4, whatever, 5, I hope soon.
I think it's mainly money. I think it's just like Tim said, the data center was probably not full on capacity, not close.
Yeah, but
I mean, no one uses it. Like sometimes I use it.
So much funding.
Yeah.
They could just forward that to Elon. He takes it happily.
Yeah.
It's a bit of rent. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
We have one more topic actually from the last time. The dev vacancies. The new developer roles, programmers, whatever. We talked about it last time. I mentioned that it's increasing again, even though it was decreasing and they were kind of scared. Everyone that was doing like software engineering, computer science, blah, blah, blah. And it was actually interestingly enough true. Let me get the data actually. But AI overall is creating more dev jobs than, they're getting, whatever, not fewer. And since mid 2025, it's around 15 to 20% up, like postings, and 17% employment growth through until 2033. So overall, it's not slowing down. It's actually the same growth rate as it's been going. Just more, but it depends really on the role. Like if you, for example, junior roles, shrinking heavily because obviously the easy kind of.
But the problem is how are you supposed to be then a senior if you cannot start as a
That is
junior?
the interesting part, yeah. But senior
dead.
jobs are going through the roof comparatively. And I was also thinking the same thing, like how do you become a senior if you can't be a junior anytime? And I saw that in a lot of YouTube videos as well that people are complaining about that.
Got to start as a 12-year-old kid to program in.
I guess, yeah, in C++.
Make some UI in C++ then.
Yeah, no, but I think it's we'll see how it goes. I don't know, but overall, companies with like the most AI tools, like using the most AI tools, hire more developers than less.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. So even though the AI tools should tenfold the productivity, they're still hiring quite a bit more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Stack Overflow, they say demand for code is infinite, and AI lowers the cost of building, which creates more products, which needs more engineers.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good summary.
And I mean, it is just a scaling game. If you have normally 10 new developers there, your overall team speed 10x's, let's say.
Yeah.
If you have now 10, or you hire 10 engineers, give them Claude Code, some tokens, and say have fun, then you have 100x.
Yeah.
But you need also some more people to basically sometimes pull the brake or say, hey, that's not okay, or not. But yeah.
And 91%
the
of
grown-up.
them are using AI coding tools. So
How many?
91% of them. If you actually look at the world, it's like not even 2% of the world are using them, but
inside of that bubble,
91% are using Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor daily.
Well, but it's so annoying now. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm using Claude Code."
Yeah, fair. Fair. I mean,
Yeah, bro,
it's a good harness, I guess.
Yeah, we've been at that point a year ago or so, but
So you're saying it's time for a change. It's time for new.
nah, I guess
I found
people
some-
are now finding it out, but it's just annoying. They're like, "Oh yeah,
no,
It's
I
like,
found
this."
Ah, no. Okay, yeah, fair.
But
Like,
Finn,
oh my god,
it's been there.
Finn,
yes,
I found a tool or basically a GitHub repo that lets you sign in with your Claude Code account into
Yeah.
the Pi harness.
Oh, nice.
That is super fun.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can use it like using the limits of Claude.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm still
Haven't-
waiting
haven't tried it
for
out yet,
an
to
open
be honest,
source
but-
version of Claude Code, like literally Claude Code copy that I can just put my API keys in. Why not? It's been
Yeah.
leaked ages ago. Like,
I think there is the Python one.
it's about time.
I think there is. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
It is about time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think those were the biggest points that I have.
Fun. But it's getting really hot in the sun.
Yes,
Man.
you might want
The
to take off your
is
shirt
Fun.
or even more.
Oh, I have one more hot take actually. Claude Code went from 0 to the number one most used coding tool.
In less than
in
1 year.
In what time span?
Less than 1 year.
Yeah, it is, but how many
And
months?
I say
But
5
from-
months.
From zero.
Yeah.
From zero.
Yeah.
From the
zero,
start, like,
zero.
since they got released and had 0 users
Huh.
to being the number one.
Claude
code.
Code isn't there since 1 year.
Older. January.
Yeah.
I think 2 years now already. I think we're already
Claude Code 2 years.
24.
I've no
January
idea.
24, I believe.
I have no
Or
idea.
in spring 24.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but they
25.
didn't have a lot of
I don't
users.
know.
But
Someday it
whatever,
feels
it's
like 2
been
years.
around 8 months since they went from about
Yeah.
5% of the user base to what they have now.
Yeah, I mean they did something good there.
Overtook GitHub Copilot, obviously, and also Cursor. And yeah, it's
Crazy.
quite crazy.
So 6 months, half a year.
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah,
Nice.
8 months from 5% to being the number one coding tool.
Crazy.
That means. At least for now. I mean, technology is changing. Next week it could be different.
That is true.
We don't know.
I think
Yeah,
not
well.
anymore. We already see a bit of the separation,
Yeah, it's true.
or not.
No, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But also to that, with the SpaceX Anthropic deal, their implied valuation is supposed to be 1.2 trillion.
But that's the
SpaceX.
SpaceX XAI?
No,
or the-
Anthropic IPO. No, it just
Anthropic was an
raised.
IPO?
Yeah. I mean,
They're
it's not
also
official
planning
yet,
later
but
in the
it's
year.
implied. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that yet. Crazy.
Yeah.
since a while now.
Wild.
Yeah.
Same with OpenAI.
XAI
Need money.
SpaceX.
All of them
Yeah,
need
it's
money
true.
for more.
I mean, Anthropic
GPUs.
gets a lot of investments right now, to be honest, but and OpenAI maybe if Musk lets them in front of court.
But it's gonna be so interesting to see if that actually makes sense, like how it actually goes.
I don't think he would get through with it, but
No.
I guess he has to try for his ego.
But I think I also asked this already a couple of episodes back, but do you think this gonna change again? Because like Anthropic is clearly first now, right now, and like everyone using
Will
it.
change again.
But
I
who
would
will
say
it be?
will change.
I mean,
Let's do a bet.
I don't think it's gonna
Let's-
be one
let's
of the
do a bet.
bigger one. It depends in which, like overall or like for coding, because Claude is obviously like the king
Yeah.
in clothing,
clothing.
in the
Huh?
coding space. Or which kind of genre are you looking at?
Well, I guess just in overall, I would say Anthropic is overall the champion in all of them.
For us, yeah, fair.
Oof.
I don't
Even-
know, market
even-
share kind of difference.
I think there is a good chance that Anthropic continues to have such a good run.
Yeah.
But I also believe that there are a few more big labs coming soon that we don't
I
know
hope
yet, or maybe some stealth ones that are already under development. And especially, I'm interested in if we change the architecture. Especially, I mean, with the 12 million context window one,
That would
there's
change a
also
lot.
a different underlying architecture
Yeah.
than the transformer.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see the change or the different architectures behind it, because then you can also differentiate the input and the output, and you can go into more domain things, and then maybe someone finds a new breakthrough,
Very
like
true.
the attention span paper, and then suddenly we have a whole new wave of AI startups
Also,
that is
don't
a
forget about
completely
the Chinese
different underlying model.
True.
So there's always,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, for now, and transformer technology is not the greatest in actually, especially in expanding a context window.
I
So
think once those also KV cache kind of quantization, etc., once that really gets usable, will be interesting. I mean, I think the Chinese, like DeepSeek or something, they probably figured that out already.
yeah, I mean,
if they can offer it
GLM5
for
is
so
also
cheap.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Set.ai.
Yeah, but overall, I think I would place my bets. I would love to place it on a American or like at best
Nah,
new kind of
European.
company, but I think I have to bet it on the Chinese, like the Quen 3.6 model. I love it. Kimi K 2.6, I love it.
Oh.
GLM I haven't tried, but probably will love it.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't want to actually use them that much on their servers. I would like to self-host
Yeah, but I don't
those.
know. I think fair. Self-host is better. But Anthropic, you also have to use them on the American
Yeah,
servers,
but
so
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's
maybe it's
test
just
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but imagine how nice it would be to have GLM 5.1 self-host.
That would be nice. Yeah.
But let's
Yes.
see if we get the
Yes.
investment,
So, I just
get
wanted to say,
the
coming back
H200.
to the topic, if you guys know investors, if you are an investor, we would like a data center. Thanks.
Yeah, we need one.
I just
We-
need one or two H200.
Just a small one.
yeah.
Just
But I
like
think
this.
we're approaching the end again.
I believe so. Thanks
Um,
for listening, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, indeed. I can only
Really
underline
nice
that.
episode outside, but next time I will bring a sunglass.
Yeah.
pair
Yes,
too.
and we need to bring a fishing rod. We saw some
can
nice
do
fish
that.
already,
Yeah,
so
and of course
We-
we do have the license here to fish.
of course we
Okay,
do.
we can
We
actually
never
do
do
that.
anything illegal. In
Alright
that sense,
then.
actually never.
For real.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys, for listening again.
It's been
Thanks for
great.
tuning in. We will be back next week. There's probably gonna be a lot more to talk about.
As always,
I think until then, have fun.
And
keep building.
keep moving.
Bye bye.